Man, we keep doing these wild kind of like side discussions before we get into these games. I mean, if you're watching YouTube, this is why you should be watching live. You get the extra content on top of it. Let's see if we can get some extra content and more than just 2 games here. B leading against Cow down the Rus, B on the Chinese, and we are going to be on Kalauga. Can the Observer Boy do it? Game 1 did not instill dramatic amounts of encouragement. He looked a bit lost on an island, literally, in that opening Transhumans game. Let's see if he can recover it now. Now, he's already got an OP start. Hunt Cabin with 22 gold, so clearly he's going to win. We've got Golden Gate into aggro. I like this. You could go Fast Castle. I don't mind Fast Castle either against Chinese, right? You can try to get Horse Archers. But it's a little bit dangerous because they can actually attack you in Feudal. And the other risky thing of doing that is that your opponent theoretically can actually just then mirror the castle timing and supervise Lances to counter you. But the bigger concern would be he play Feudal. Because people have discovered on Kalauga, Feudal can be quite good because of the gold location. Gold on, I want to say like 95% of the spawns forward of your TC. Or roughly forward, like to the side. So it's attackable. And it spawns far enough out of range that especially archers can just completely strike in. Tree lines as well also becomes kind of an exposure point. And the second goal may be behind you, but it's notably further away. So things like French Knights, Rus Knights, early archer play can do irreparable damage on Kalauga. So Beep doesn't have to worry about that full goal too much. We do have an Imperial Academy play. We also have fishing online. And oh boy, is he bloating. He's doing it again. Oh my god, B. Previews of what is to come on water hybrid maps against the B-boy. Trying to become the A-boy here. So for those that did not catch game number 1, we saw him do this with the Japanese. Worth checking out. It's happening again. The play is that you can drop off at mills. It's better on Japan. It's very good on French if you can find a way underwater. Actually, French can do this quite well now, guys. Because French, they basically save 50 wood building a dock because they need a house. Right? And then your mills only cost 25 wood. So compared to China, China making this play is paying, what, 350 wood? French making this play is essentially paying 150 wood because you're going to build a house anyway, right? So you have to equate that into the fact you're building a dock. And your mills are only 25 wood. So it's a really good deal, actually, for the French. We might see that for them in the future. But now he has an efficient way of moving up the map. I'd rather he moves up to the center now and plays back towards these afterwards, right? Because this is the risky resource. I do think it was ambitious to go for a triple mill. One thing that is really cool about this, though, is on the off chance that for some insane reason Rus are going to build a dock, he'll now see. I do think that this is worth doing against non-Rus civs because then you know if they're docking later because you'll see them do it. They can't hide it, right? Because if they even hide the dock here, when they come to fish, the mill will reveal them. Nice, they look, but they look on the wrong side here. Looks like there already was a dive attempt. No villagers killed so far, and spearmen are now coming out. Can you supervise the mill now and get additional resources? That's a good idea, CS. I haven't tested that. In theory, right? Because a boat is a worker, and the prevention is on supervision of dock for resources. I'd have to test that, though. I have a feeling B has, though. And considering we don't have moving taxman out, I'm assuming no. If so, that's completely broken, though. That would completely spit in the face of the early game balancing. Archship's now coming out, which is going to spit in the face of Cow, who is now trying to play Pro Scouts. Okay, so one gets deer, one gets fish. It is all balanced, folks. So Cow must know this is happening then. Yeah, he's seen the mills. It's pretty obvious at the stage. He's just trying to play for his own eco advantage. He's going to cut the map, right? So if he gets most of the deer, I actually think this favors him, right? Like, remember, Kalauga has quite a few deer on them, right? You've got the 5-stack deers, and there is, I believe it's, I want to say 7 of them? So that's 35. And then you have a small stack on each side, if I remember correctly, which is 3. So I think there's 40 deer. I'd have to double check. Even if there's just 30, I mean, that's drastic amounts of income, right? 30 would end up being about 1050, so 10.5k food. Meanwhile, the shoreline fish will equate for, what, 500 times, is it 18? Yeah, so you end up getting 9,000. So you actually end up with more food from Pro Scouts than you do from fishing. And Pro Scouts will be better, because you gather a lot quicker, right? Shoreline fish is absurdly slow, slower than actually gathering from berries by default. Meanwhile, deer is quicker than berries, quicker than sheep, and survival techniques buff you even further. So yeah, this should, if they were on equal footing, favor cow. The problem, though, is that fishing does add extra eco units in. Add in the fact you're against a civ that has supervision, and it's a recipe for doom. Oh, we're going to find out. He's doing it. If this works, it's broken. Like, genuinely, if this works, it is busted. Barbican's now coming in. I am so curious on this. And Cow, he's playing the age. He's building the archers. He's got 1 foot in, 1 foot out, which is not ideal. Now, this is important. Earlier, he kept dropping off at about 20. Here, you want to be more efficient because, you know, although there is a float point, not just a front-facing number, it can get weird to kind of scale your eco if you're not, like, on rounded numbers with the 20%. Cow, he still doesn't know. Are you freaking kidding me? He gets baited back by the archer ship. Yeah, so he doesn't. He just glimpsed it. It worked. Wait. Did it work? Damn it, we're going to have to check again. This is so much more important than anything else happening in this game right now in my brain. Because they're going to both go Castle Age, right? There's no in for either of them. The Spearman Master's too big for Cow to dive. So we'll keep an eye on that. Archer ship is at least also wasting time, which is giving space for B to prep that tech up. Moment of truth. Because he usually drops off around 20 to 25. Most of the time we're seeing. We also have a demo ship coming. Hide that in the fishing, and you are going to be glorious. Archer ship is at least going to get chased down. Will be sunk. He's pushing on land as well, so Spearmen are pressuring. B, come on. Is it wrong that I want it to work so that China can get nerfed? No, that's totally reasonable. He needs to remember, because they won't do it by default. It's a manual click thing, guys. Yeah, so, whoops. B, hello. Kind sir. Kind sir. All right, he's completely lost track of it. It requires manual targeting, guys. Here we go. He's coming, though, so we'll know for sure. It works! Oh my god, that is vile. That's busted. That can't be intended. I mean... Alright, guys. China. Broken on Kalauga. Confirmed. It's intended? Really? You feel like that's intended? Because I'd say, like, if it's intended, why don't fishing boats by default drop at a foot a mil? So, we'll see what the devs do with this, but my take, these type of things are bugs that can become play. So I used Dota as an example with stacking creep camps in that game. It was never intended. It was a bug that became a mechanic. If they leave it, it's like an intended mechanic. If it gets nerfed out now by Season 10, you know what happened. We'll see, though. Like, it is on the limbo point. Like I've said before, like, there is a bug, but is it an exploit, right? If it's an exploit, it gets patched. It's not going to be illegal in my tournaments. I don't think it will be illegal in tournaments in general. It is a strong play, though. Because with China in particular, which usually it won't matter, because usually it's very expensive to sacrifice a villager to bring an imp official into mid-map. But for China, it's broken because Imperial Academy. You pump these bad boys out anyway. That's crazy, though. Tech up now complete, and we can focus on something other than the fishing. It's been an important point in this game, but they are now both up in age 3. Nightmass not looking too scary. We do have horse archers on the way. The B could just play a funneled force down the center, right? Mass knights, some spears, go nest the bees, brute force the base. He's still patrolling this to protect. This is how you keep your taxmen alive. And agreed, it is APM intensive, but once again, not intended. And what I will say is for shoreline fish play, it's pretty busted. Because while it is APM intensive, it's not that APM intensive. I.e., if you think about the gathering rate of fishing boats being so bad, the amount of extra actions you're doing per minute doesn't drastically increase. Compared to, like, for example, deep water fish, where it would be crazy. But then again, it would be even more broken and worth it at that stage. Well, I want China to play out their base, so I guess, yeah, we did get that out of this mechanic. How is Cal looking? Because we haven't checked on his base in a while. He did go high trade house, right? Get your numbers in. We'll click it on in a second. Clash is coming underway, though. B. Nest of Bees is a little bit exposed here. Lancers do get the block up. Remember, that's a clock town Nest of Bees. Villager nearby coming in for the repair. Shots going out. Does go down, though. However, the Knights are dead. And the Lancers are now not contested. So Cal has to back away. So B. I think if he gets a healthy number of Lancers together here, Cal doesn't currently have an answer. He's trying to play into his own Knights now, but you're still up against Spears at the end of the day, right? Is B going to do one of those almost borderline toxic mass Nest of Bees builds? Because I think this is a dangerous matchup to do that in. Eventually, your fishing's going to dry up. When you play that type of meta as well, your fishing will dry up. Cal goes 2TC, scales for that late game. With the Armory, Rus are very good at playing Imp Siege games. That's why we've seen them as a top pick in team games for going for that Siege Crawl. High Trade House, 171 gold. So plenty in the pocket to work with. Relics, however, are going to be favoring B. Cal hasn't gone for them yet. It's like fishing is getting idled out. That's how you counter it. No tax, man. No supervision. Cal at this stage has to be going, does that work? Monk's also getting denied, so that might be a fresh reminder to Cal. He might have forgotten about the relics, but now he can play into them, right? Like, that should be his alarm bell to start picking them up. Because if you don't pick them up now, 2 minutes' time, they're all going to be gone. Horse Archers will at least be able to rotate to the backside. B, a little bit slow on the reaction there. This is what Horse Archers are premium at. Unfortunately, the Textile's the perfect counter against just getting those one-hit kills. He doesn't find as much as he'd like, but chip damage matters here. Remember, B, he has 12 fishing boats, so the real economical difference between them, not as big as you think. That was unfortunate. No staggered. The tough part is staggered doesn't even work that good against Nest of Bees because of how wide the damage arc is. Meanwhile, oh my god! The Archers were being the key operator there. Lancers get the best trade they could imagine here. Cal losing the bulk of his force here. Opens the way now also for B to go back into Spears. Behind this, it looks like he's going to be going 2TC. So Cal, we talked about the need to eventually do this. It's inevitable against the Chinese anyway. Your biggest challenge now is keeping it hidden. If B realizes you're playing 2TC, he has two options. All in you, which he'll probably do with this type of economy, or he goes 2TC himself. Well, in the meantime, are going to be able to keep protecting that fishing though. Now outpost upgrades are coming in. Sprint replacement should be on the way soon. Behind this, it is a lot of stables. Remember how this began with a bunch of spears, and now it is legit just going to be essentially the new Zhuji build, but in China? Good lord. Plenty of gold to work with in the center of the map. Fish still looking reasonable, right? He's got a little bit left over here. He's also got plenty in the north side. That's another 1,000 up there. Actually, sorry, 1,500. So he can keep this going for at least another 4 or 5 minutes. He's even yoinking the relics. I mean, Cal, at this point, why did he even build the Warrior Monks option, right? The Monastery went up, but Warrior Monks never came out. I feel like Cal was just trying to fall back and go Imperial now. Either that, or he's not sure what to build. He's flowing an absurd amount of resources. You could get into Imperial with Speskaya. You'd survive initially. Just not really sure what's waiting there for you. Especially with 2TC. I mean, food is going to be his biggest limiting factor if you make that type of play. Right? He's got the berries between him, but the rest won't be protected. And you are playing against mass lancers without walls. Wallow coming in. Yeah, we're not going to die like that. It's a raid opportunity in the back, but the lancers are already mirroring from B. Walls are going up, and we are going to get a siege crawl. Okay, B is about to become very toxic in 1v1 tournaments. We've seen him do this to a particular Turk before, you guys might remember. And it looked vile. We're now going to see him do it against the Norwegian. The idea is you just basically create compartments and move your nest to Bs up. He's going to do it with Trebs instead, though, right? This was a classic strategy long time ago, but usually it used to be with stone walls so that spring walls could counter you. Now it's more cost efficient. I mean, the reason he's the floating cow is because, well, when things are dead, they do float. Cow needs to do something very quickly to convince me he's alive. The worry I'm getting is even if Cow, say, bulks up to 90 economy, how do you then protect 90 economy against 30 lances? Crossbows are cool. They can't be everywhere at once, though. And you are going to have to start expanding. That's the trade-off of having more economy. More economy equal out of your safe area quicker. Looks like, I think B is trying to snipe the Trebs. But he's realized it's not worth it. If you're going to try to snipe Trebs, you need to wait to have enough to actually snipe them. Otherwise, they'll just get repaired. We have Imperial Palace. Oh my. Song Dynasty now on the way. A big swing. I mean, you could just start flooding Spearmen, theoretically. I feel like you're going to be running out of food soon, though. At least on the fish, right? So you're going to come down to just your gathering on land. He does have a lot of map control for that, but you have to remember it was pro scouts play from Cow, so a lot of that deer got taken away. Bar the free over here. So you on in. We have the speedy boys now. Oh, God. Wait, did I say song? My bad. I said song and then describe speedy boys. It's one of those days. Give me a break. I'm ill. I get no time to recuperate. I have a banging headache. It is not easy being a streamer, okay? 9 to 5 jobs are easy. Oh, I'm going to stop. Oh, jeez, I can't say that without cringing. So we have the speed. I mean, this is problematic now. We talked about how the crossbows can't be everywhere to deny. They definitely could not now. They can come in so fast as well. Not as fast as a 9800X 3D, though. They're close. They're like maybe at 9600X speeds. 2 would be the 9800X 3D, which is the absolute cap. And there's absolute cap on what you get your frames in games nowadays. Wow, look at how KP done that so beautifully. Click the link, check it out. It helps the channel, and it helps you. You're going to want to be on those if you aren't already. So Knight's now diving in. Villagers are going to be in a bit of a pickle if B starts attacking them. Look how quickly he gets in position as well. Cow didn't know us! And so much for that 2TC recovery arc. It's going to need an Archangel to recover this one. Moving on to the berries as well. More villagers going down. I mean, there's no way out of this. And now, unless you've walled off every exit to the base, there will always be a way out for the Lancers. Look how quick they are. Oh my dear God. He just walks past it like, okay, bye. Imagine Horseman, but actually tanky enough to run past the Spearman. And uh-oh, he might be able to find more Cow. He just walled himself in with them! He thought this is where he wanted to be. I don't think thinking is what was happening here. No textiles either. Cow now down to 35 villages. If he continues like this for another 3 minutes, he's going to be doing the Kiljadi strategy. 6 villages at 30 minutes. Oh my God. Another problem is, like, look at Cow's army. He's just got them on standby. He's not even using the crossbows to clear this up faster. He kind of asked for this punishment, but I get why he's doing this, right? If he pulls the crossbows back, second wave comes in. Second wave is coming either way, and oh my God, that is a get the out of my game if I've ever seen one. Fire Lance in production now on the way for B. Well, Camin, the reason why the 9800X3D ad is stuttering right now, ironically, is because we have a very old CPU in this, and we are recording the game and running a very intensive game. I can promise you that those ads running in a month's time are going to blitz across the screen at 144 frames. Hell yeah. The crossbows are going to dive in. Or at least try to get some return pain here, but I don't know what Cal's meant to do. And clearly, guys, the only decisive moment, the only reason B won, the only reason, I mean, it bloody well helped. All right. I'm not even going to ask Krakeny if he thinks that's a bug or intended, because he likes Chinese GG too much. Trebs, we talked about them being able to snipe. We're at that point. Starting to find his targets. Second TC as well. B says, if you want to turn it to a macro game, we can party on deep into the night. Oh my Gideon. What could Cal have done differently is what matters more than what B done to get ahead, I think. And I think Cal, he went for this raid-focused approach, but he didn't, even with the scouts, pro scouts play, have the vision to deny the fish early. I think that's a bit of a slip-up, right? If you want to play for feudal aggression, you need to find a target before you start punting, right? Because you could be essentially trying to go feudal aggression into an opponent who isn't coming out of his base, but isn't rushing castle either, so there's nothing to attack. So you have to kind of justify the play. Roosh used to do this more easily with the old bounty game because they'd build so many scouts very early. But considering when pro scouts, I think I see this so often, pro scouts almost feels like a bait now. When people do it, they stop actually scouting. The scouts simply become a tool to get resources. And really, one of the most valuable resources in RTS itself is information. Now, in some ways, literally, if you play Red Alert 2, you put a spider builder, you get things. But in other ways, figuratively, knowing what your opponent is doing can allow you to more efficiently counter what is coming. Spirit Way now on the way. And that should more or less convince Cal that the end is nigh. Oh my god. Why does it affect cavalry? It's already absurd enough that it actually affects infantry. Fire Lance is in there as well, so we're going to burn it all to the ground. Tech up complete. We are 4.5 minutes away from a Sacred Site victory. You know what this is? This is Cal, sick and tired of all those pro players that he has to watch for an extra 10 minutes when observing, when the game is already over and they refuse to GG. And now he's like, it's finally my turn. Yeah, but Cal, you're not punishing a pro player. You punish him now. He's just trying to have some fun with it. You know, host, and in fairness, that's not the worst statement to make. And the reason that's fair is because technically if Cal had a better ranking on the ladder, he would have better seeding for the tournament, ergo he could dodge B in the early round. That's the challenge. Remember, folks, the way we qualify our players, we kick 16 each week, invite 16 new. The 16, half of them are seeded and invited based on their tournament rankings, and half are based on their ladder ranking in the season. So pretty cool little dynamic there. Gives a way for new faces to get in and potentially get good matchups. Well, Cal is pretty much just slow dying in STBs at the stage. I feel like I've seen this strategy somewhere before. Where could it be? Well, finally he calls it. GG comes out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is the fishing drop-off at meals intended? And on top of that, should Imperial officials be allowed to supervise and give more food as a result? That's your question for this one. Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you all in the next chapter.